It's your girl, and yes, welcome to the Keepsake Corner, your safe space to talk about whatever relationships, life, here, there, and everything else in between. I am here, and you know I always have a guest. But before we get into all of that, y'all want to know what we're talking about? I know y'all do. I know y'all do. Y'all, we are going to talk about how we speak to the man within. Yes, yes, I know because I'm going to tell you why. Ladies, 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 hold on. I'm going to just talk to y'all real quick for a minute. They say we disrespectful. They say our mouths. How many of y'all heard that? Our mouths, our mouth. Type in the chat how many times. One, two. I infinity. Type in that infinity sign if you don't even know. You don't even know. But before we even get into that, if you are new to the Keepsake Corner, type in hashtag tips. You know why? Because I always want you to walk away with some what? Keepsakes, all right? And some tips. But if you are OG, type in what you already know, hashtag sips, because we sipping. We are sipping with your girl in this safe space and in the Keepsake Corner. All right, that just goes into communication. Y'all know I will sit up here and coach and teach and preach the 5 communication styles. Did y'all know it was 5 of them? Y'all know I'ma always throw y'all with a 5. Yep. I don't care. It is what it is. But since we are getting into it, I'ma just go ahead and bring my guests in. Let me see who we got up in here. Oh, we got my boy Duran in the building. What is going on, Duran? Say what's up to the people.
What's up, folks?
Oh, Duran. In interviews, I really be hating this question. It be like, oh, tell me about yourself, introduce yourself. No, we ain't gonna do that. What I am going to start off with is tell the people about your first heartbreak.
Damn.
That's how we're
That's a
gonna
good
introduce
one.
the
Well,
guest right
shit.
here. I'm talking about the first one, y'all.
Yeah, my first heartbreak came in like my 20s. I was in my 20s. And that was a tough one because I was in love with that girl, right? Like, I had proposed to her. And shit, her and my mom's really didn't like, get along. So that was the hard part right there. Um me and her had a conversation one night, and she wanted to have a sit down with moms 1-on-1. I tried to tell her, I said, that might not be a good idea because moms is raw, and she gonna tell you like it is. And if that's something you can't handle, I wouldn't recommend it. But she insisted. I arranged it. They had that talk. Shit went bad. I had to hear about it from both sides, and then shit, I was in the middle. She was like pulling one way. I'm loyal to mom, so I'm like, and shit over time, man, it just kind of ended. It ended, and it hurted because I really loved her. And I think had that conversation not went the way it went, I probably would be married. Yeah, and if I would have married her at that age, now that I'm 41, we probably would have been married like 13 years.
So you believe you guys will still be married?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Oh my God, let us toast to that because you are sipping with your girl. Because for me, if y'all follow your girl, you know my story. I am engaged. I was engaged and unengaged. And I always say that had I had continued to be with him and had married him, I would be unhappy. Yeah. Like I would be unhappily married.
Now, I don't know how happy we would be, but we probably would still be married. Yeah.
And I always jokingly or non-jokingly, I have always said that divorce is not an option,
right?
But homicide is. So I was like, that's why I called off the engagement because I knew it was like, it was not going to work out that
she
way.
she didn't have no kids. I did. And she wanted kids, and I was willing to give her another one. I haven't been willing to give nobody else a child, but I was willing to get her another one. I already had my 3 at the time.
Okay.
And they was my daughters were around like they was in like kindergarten when I was talking to her. And my son wasn't even in school yet. So yeah. Yeah, she would have definitely been that mother figure for them. Which was something that I haven't had, and I always talk about my 2 relationships. She was the one, and then it was the other girl. That's it. And the only 2 women that's ever been around my kids. Yeah. So
that is interesting. And so, what I am going to do right now is go off a script because why? It's my show, and I can definitely do that because I always come up with something that I want to talk about, and then my guests always bring it back, y'all. And I'm like, oh, I need to touch on that. I have to. So, hold on, y'all. So, all right. So that was interesting that you spoke about your mother being the reason for your heartbreak. And I say that because with my experience, I too have had mother issues. And one of my dreams, honestly, has always been to be the favorite daughter in law. Like, I wanted a mother in law that was going to take me to the mall and like call me and I can like gossip about her son in like a cute little way. And the love of my life, his mama, I ain't gonna get too much into that though, but his mama was the reason for our departure. It wasn't even that she was tough. Let me tell you, it wasn't even that she was tough. She was just a mess. She was one of those mothers that had her son back to the end. His stuff did not stink. And if it did, it smelled good to her, and she was gonna cover it up with everybody.
Miles ain't like
But it was one of those. It was still the mom, right? But also my daughter's father, mom, on the other end, she was more cutthroat. Like she was tough, but it was more like, how could you think that way? Like it was one of them where she just had the mentality of like, hey, this is how I am, it is what it is, and this is how I'm gonna be. I'm not that type of grandmother, and I told my son this, and it's none of my business, but call me if you want this. Like, don't call me for this. And but then there was some things that she just agreed with her son was just like, but I could appreciate her for that, right? So it's one of those that although I didn't agree with it, I could appreciate it. But in both situations, the mother was an issue, right? Well, and go ahead.
I mean, mom's is she cutthroat too, and she gonna tell you like it is, and I kind of appreciate it because I get that I'm like that in a sense. Like I'm not gonna hold my tongue. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of times we like to talk about it's about tone and it's about delivery.
Yes.
And a lot of time I think if we kind of eliminate a person's tone and just listen to what a person is saying, I think we'll understand better at what's being said versus how it's being said or the tone that's used when it's
yes,
when it's being said. Yeah.
So that it's going back to I always say listen to the message and not the messenger. Right. Because I, for one, I have that issue as well. When I get into my assertive mode, oh my goodness, people like you're talking at me, you're not talking to me, and then the worst one, y'all, is look, hold on, let me get to me real quick. The worst one, y'all, is the one where it's just like, oh, now you going on Kenya's keepsake on me. Now you can't listen. Let me tell you about your girl. It's called, again, communication styles. That's what we were talking about earlier. We tying it all back. I will go through the 5 communication styles with everyone. I am not always assertive. You will get your sweet keepsake. You will get your tone, because I know my audience. When I get to that assertive tone, that it takes me a minute to get to that assertive tone. So now you shooketh. You know what I'm saying? Now, but I'm saying the same exact thing that I have said, but you didn't hear me when I was talking in an expressive tone, or a passive tone, because that's one of them. You didn't hear me then. I'm saying the same exact thing in an assertive tone now that you shook it. It's about the message, not the messenger. All right, that's what we're talking about here, y'all. Let me get back to my guest. Let That's what we're talking about here, y'all. And I'm with him because everybody fights that. Like, oh my God, you should have. Now, uh, we can agree or disagree, or you tell me how you feel about it. There are some tones that you should never have, which is aggression, right?
That and
Aggression and the yelling. Right, right. So that's one thing about it. But y'all learn about those 5 different communication styles and understand that assertive one, because actually the assertive communication style is the most effective communication style, y'all. And again, like, it's the message. It's because there's also another part of it too, is that if those same words came from somebody else, you would accept it.
Yeah.
They would accept it the same way, right?
And I think like that play into like constructive criticism. I think a lot of people have a hard time with somebody else looking in their mirror, having a better assessment of them, versus that person looking in their own mirror having a better assessment of themselves.
Right.
And a lot of time that constructive criticism hit different. It hurt. It hurt. And they always say like the truth hurt. And I think sometimes when a person that's really tapped into you can like take bits and pieces of you and be like, look, when you do this and do this, you need to work on that. And that person tend to have a problem with that. So they'll feel attacked. And then they'll be like, damn, well, you coming at me like, nah, man, I'm just telling you what I see. This is what you show me. This is what I see. So this is what I can go off of.
I am glad you said that, because this is another thing that I coach all of the time. I want people to understand that the person that is closest to you, that's with you all the time, every day, they know you sometimes better than yourselves. So if they are telling you something about yourselves, it's something that they're seeing. Your person is your mirror. Like, understand that. And that's what we're saying, right? Because again, so if they're telling you, for an example, I mean, this is far-fetched, but if you happen to be like on drugs, I know this was very, very far-fetched. I couldn't think of a better example. But if you happen to be secretly on drugs and you start acting a certain way, your person and partner, whoever, because we could talk family members too, you know what I'm saying? They know that something is wrong with you. They can tell you're moving differently. They can tell that. So then when they address it and you get offended and defensive, that's because you don't want to look in the mirror, because that person is your mirror. So what we are saying is, and I think that Deron can agree with me, is that sometimes you have to trust the person when they are telling you something about yourself. Now, I have a thing about the words constructive criticism. I Yes, it's I get the concept of constructive criticism, but I don't know, just something about that's like the oxymoron. Like, it's constructive, but it's criticism. Like, I don't know, because it's not criticism. You know what I mean? And I think that is the reason why people shun constructive criticism, because if you right, you know what I'm saying. If you say constructive feedback, right? You know what I'm saying? Or
we might need to hashtag that and make that a new
oh,
trend.
come on, y'all! What? Look, don't be look. I'm copywriting that tomorrow. Don't play with me and Duran because we just came up with that. All right, hashtag constructive feedback. All right, how y'all? Yeah, I'm copywriting. Don't do that. Yeah, because I believe that along with tone, words are important as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the type of words, because people misdefine it. And I think I will say this in every episode, people misdefine words. So when you put criticism behind something, they're automatically going to throw it out because they automatically is defining it as something that is harsh, bad, and they don't want to hear it. Right. And it's not that. It's not like criticism doesn't have to be X, Y, and Z, but because you making it a negative connotation.
Not to cut you
no,
off.
No, please go.
It's crazy though, right? Because when you at work, you get criticized on your performance. Listen. Right? And then you listen to what your boss say when they criticizing your work performance, but when you at home with your man and he criticizing your performance, so you at home is different. And it's the same thing when a woman criticizes her man about his performance at home. It's a different response, but at work it's okay. And it's like, why is it okay for your boss, but not okay for your spouse?
Right. Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because again, I say it all the time too. Effort should go across the board in your entire life. Like you're saying, I use the performance evaluation. You to get a raise, right? Everybody wants to be a wife. Everybody wants to be the girlfriend from the dating stage. That requires a raise, right? But then you don't want to do the performance review and you're wondering why. But at work, you are busting your butt to get that 100% so you can get that 3% raise, 5% raise, whatever it is. You will do everything your boss says, even if you don't like your boss. Even if you don't even know these people. They don't do nothing. But at home, it's a problem. You don't care if you pass or fail that evaluation because you're not gonna go nowhere anyway. Because you know why, Duran? They believe they're not gonna get fired from the home.
It's the comfortability.
Because they know they're not gonna get fired. They don't want to. They know they're gonna get fired from their job, but they're not.
The thing with that, right, is that a lot of folks get complacent when they get once they be all out. Like a woman will go all out when they in the dating process, and the minute that guy say, "Hey, we in a relationship," that comfortability set in. I got the guy now. Same thing with guys. Like I got the guy, I got the girl. Now I don't have to do as much because I got her. But we fail to realize is that the same things you did to get her is the same things you got to do to maintain her. The same things you got to do to keep her. Vice versa for the woman and the man.
So it's funny you say that in the dating and the relationship because I've heard that it's more when they go to the marriage stage.
Nah, I don't.
Because how do we get to the marriage stage if we get comfortable in the relationship stage?
Well, I mean, for me, like when I'm just in the talking process, I try to let a woman know like this is what I'm looking for, right?
Okay.
And I feel like if you're trying to be a wife, show up as the wife, even if we just in the talking stages, because that's enough for me to be like, yeah, she could for sure be the one.
But
because
how?
she's showing up as not a girlfriend, but she's letting me know that everything that she represents is a wife.
Okay, so what? Because I love it here. I always challenge this because I have a problem with, again, terms, misdefinition, the whole wifey duties, being a wife and all that. What does that mean? Because it's not a transition. It's just a title that just again everybody must define. So I say that to say that what does it mean to show me that you're a wife? Because trust me, every wife is not the same just because they have transitioned to being a wife.
I can't speak for every guy.
Okay,
I can only speak for myself.
Okay,
For me, a woman that just that just show up every day in, day out. Like that's gonna let me know, like, damn, she in it. Like she here, she in it with me. Okay. And, you know, every day ain't gonna be a good day. She in it with me. Every day, some days it's gonna be good, some days it's gonna be bad. She in it with me. She trying to work through things with me. Like, just letting me know, like, after I had a hard day, like, babe, don't trip, I got you. It's gonna be all right. I'm here. We got it. We a team. We gonna do what we gotta do, and I got you. That's just showing up. Okay, so that is what you are looking for in a wife. Yeah. Okay. Cause I mean, like again, like I say, during the date, during the talking phase, I let a woman know what I need. Okay. And I let a woman know what I don't need. Okay. And I'm self sufficient, so it's a lot of stuff that I take care of and have always taken care of on a daily basis to where now I got this woman. I just really need you to be here for me. I don't need you to do the day-to-day stuff because I got the day-to-day stuff. Okay. But if you want to add, you want to pick up one of my day-to-day tasks and just do it, then that's fine. Like, I'm gonna appreciate it, but it's not something that I need. That's good. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel that that's where most get expectations twisted. You know what I mean? And I do a lot of guest relationship podcasts and things where I'm on that. And I always say, do not set your expectations out early on, right? And they always challenge me, like, why not? I have expectations. Well, I say that you are setting someone up for failure, putting your expectations out to someone that you don't even know is capable of fulfilling that. It's a bar that's set too high. Right. So one person asked me, well, what do I do instead? Because this is what I want. I said, exactly. This is what you want. So what you do, and this is what Duran just did, and I'm going to write this in a note to everybody. Take notes right here. You put out what you want, right? And then see who fulfills that instead of putting all of those expectations on a person. Because again, you don't know if this person is even capable of fulfilling what you want. So it's about your wants. If that person can fulfill those, and people need to be truthful about their capacity too. Yeah. Don't play and say you can do it when you can't. Right. Because now you're just wasting time. But see, that's good you said that, because that taps into that saying of, like, you ever hear like a woman say, I want to be a man's everything. And the man will be like, well, I want to be your everything. Like, yes. I feel like it's impossible. Impossible. Like, you could work towards trying to be somebody's everything, but I just feel like you never gonna be able to quite meet 100% of a person, because we change every day. We change, we evolve every day, and your spouse might not change and evolve with you every day, and that's gonna always. It's always good. You always gonna feel like I'm a step ahead or a level ahead of you, and you got to catch up. And the more that spouse focus on trying to play catch up, he gonna forget or she gonna forget, like, their purpose in that relationship. Yes. And oh my gosh, let me tell you how I can just identify. That is one of the reasons why I started King's Keepsake, y'all. It's because I help individuals unlearn and relearn relationship skills through healing and self-discovery, right? Because this was my story. This was exactly what it was. I tell this story all the time. Y'all gonna hear it, but y'all need to hear it because someone's might be going through this right now, and y'all can feel your girl, okay? And I'm just now telling this part, but that was the issue. My daughter's father, he was so attached. Oh my, he was attached. I'm the family girl. Y'all look at what I do here. I'm the family. I'm very family orientated. I want to go here. But not only that, I'm very personable. I talk to everybody. But not only, you have to be nice to people, right? Oh my, he thought that I was just in everybody's faces. He wanted me to be his best friend. And that just couldn't be your girl. But also outside of that, it's also
a personality clash thing. Like you're saying, you need those outside friendships, you need those outside co-workers or whoever else that you can talk to and get other insights from, because that's how you're going to grow. Like, if you are just stuck with each other, you don't understand your mental capacity. You know what I'm saying? Your outside environment can change your personality and what's going on. And like you said, if you're not growing together because you're just focused on each other, right, it's like the blind leading the blind. Or what's going to happen, or in my case, one is going to grow, and the other one is going to be stuck
at the surface level.
Which is why I was engaged and unengaged, because y'all, I just woke up one morning and said I don't want to do this. And it was because I did not see a future with him. I did not see myself being with him every day for the rest of my life. Yeah, and because we were not growing at all. Like, I was thriving, I was here, I was trying to take him with me, but he just didn't want to go, and I hate the cliches, but you could take the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink, you know what I mean? And it was just one of those things. I was doing all of that. And a lot of people just thought it was the worst thing that I left, because it was like, oh, what happened?
Probably felt overworked in your personal life and in your work life. And that shit is stressful.
Stressful.
And that's where, like, when you leave work, I was always taught to leave work at work. Don't ever take work home to your family, because however your day transpired, you're gonna take that out on your family when you get home.
And I did a whole speak talk on it, actually last Sunday, where my title was Mood Mastery, because it was about how I was just stuck in an emotional cage, just being with him, and I just couldn't do it no more, because at that time I was a full-time mother, a full-time student, and I worked full-time. And he was there. And I say in my speech, the relationship became a chore.
Yeah. It's no point in having somebody there if they ain't there.
And I always said I only had one kid. I felt like I had two.
If you got somebody there and they ain't there, it's like, what's the point?
Right.
Like, man.
Yes. So, oh my God. Look, we were just on and off, but that was good, y'all. So, the moral of this segment right here is the fact that, y'all, it's okay to just walk away from any situation if you just know it's not there. Everybody wants to be like, oh, you didn't stay, or you didn't stick around long enough, or you just ran the first flat. At some point, and let me clarify this. Age does have something to do with it. Don't let nobody tell you, age ain't nothing but a number. Age and experience, because we are here, we're well over 30, but I'm just saying, at over 30, your mindset is different. All right. And so, it's like when you're in your 20s, yes, the word, first of all, again, throwing all these words out, when we were in our 20s, the word red flags didn't even exist. I didn't know what we called them. We just called them bad decisions.
In my 20s, that shit was your ass crazy.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It wasn't a red flag. Yes, that's what it was. I should have known you was crazy when. That's what it was. Now, all the red flags and everything. But again, in our 20s, it was something different.
In our 20s, the word trigger wasn't even there. That's some new shit too.
That is new.
That's some new shit too.
Let me tell y'all something. Again, being a relationship coach, I love y'all. I love y'all. But I, again, unlearn and relearn, because I really try to break these words down that y'all misuse, overuse, and all that. Because, right, and I spoke at a high school to high school girls, and I was telling them even the word boundaries is new.
Yeah.
We didn't call them boundaries. It was like, you doing too much. And that's what it was back in our day. You doing too much.
It was crossing the line.
Crossing the line.
You are crossing the line.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
or I give you another one, like, you out of bounds. You're out of bounds.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But crossing the line.
And then if you want to be player with it, like, you out of pocket.
Ooh,
He
he
out of
he
pocket.
dating us, y'all.
Yeah, so
Those were the times, though. But that's when it worked. I feel like stuff worked back then. I don't know what's going on now. It's crazy.
it's probably because
Stuff
like
worked,
we was
bruh.
willing to
And we had
willing to fight.
fun.
Yeah, we was willing to fight. And I think the
Mm-mm.
fight ain't there no more.
Mm-mm.
The fight ain't there. It's all about the
Mm-mm.
what have you done for me lately?
Yes.
And what will you continue to do for me in order
Right.
for me to stay?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Like people want the return expeditiously. Shout out to my boy Ti.
They want to skip the process.
They want, like, instead of working for it. And I say, y'all think that y'all better than y'all really are. And I say that all the time. Everybody think they the baddest. The baddest be the that, and then for my guys too. All y'all swear y'all that N word. Everybody is that guy. Everybody just think that they are just top tier, right? And then they look for top tier, but they get mad when they match their tier because they see that. Y'all see where I'm going with this?
I don't know, cause
What you mean?
yeah, I ain't never wanted to be that nigga.
What?
Like I just always try to fly under the radar.
No, but I'm not talking about on the surface. I'm talking about in here in your heart.
Here,
In your heart.
I'm hella confident. And I can't nobody break that.
That's what I'm saying.
So
And I'm not saying that my boy Duran not, right? But what I am saying is that, say Duran is that guy up in here, right? So then, but you get a girl, that thinks she top tier, like Tehran thinks she top tier, but she really here, right? But she thinks she here.
It's about the facade.
You see what I'm saying here? It's the fact that everybody swear they top tier.
But see, now that you say that, like, why do men and women compete though? Because I'm not trying to compete with no woman. It's no. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's no point because I'm competitive. But if I'm trying to be one with you,
right?
Why do we gotta have a competition to see who the better spouse in a relationship? Like, I'm not finna do that.
Because everybody not trying to be one.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do
That's
that.
the problem.
I know for me, like, because I'm a single dad. I talk about that a lot. I got two daughters. I got a son. And for them, they're my team. Okay. And I talk to them strenuously about teamwork. Okay. Like, this is what makes us work. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that I give y'all to do while I take care of other things. And as long as y'all take care of this and I take care of that, like, we'll be straight. Like, we'll forever be straight. Like, as long as y'all here, just do this. I'm gonna do the heavy lifting, and I need y'all to just play the role that is assigned. And if y'all do it, it'll work. And they now that they older, they starting to understand it, and it's working. Like our relationship is better. Than when it was teens. It's better now because they're adult. They got that little bit. They got that freedom, and I still put that responsibility on them. The same responsibility that I put on them as teens, they still have it as adults. But I just fall back and I put myself in a position where we like friends versus they know I'm dad. I'm always gonna be dad. But now my relationship with them is like we friends. Okay. We roommates. You know? So they handle their part. I handle my part. And it works. Okay, so how could that work in a relationship? Well, that was gonna yes. The same way. No. So how? Like, well, that was gonna be another episode, but like I said, it's my party. I can do what I want to do. Right. But yes, but now they're grown. So I can't even go back. I mean, I could go back and say, how did that work? But I guess not saying that part didn't matter because that's in the past when they were teen. But I'm thinking now because my daughter's 21. Right. Well, and so, but I think my question is like, so at what point do you I always try to be careful with my words because I don't want to use the word release. That's not what I'm saying. But at what point does that dynamic Change.
Separate. I think that's the word I want to say. Because now they're grown.
I got what you. Yeah.
You
so
see what I'm
I
trying
tried to. My daughters, when they hit 18, I tried to get them some like go ahead and explore, do what you're gonna do, right? But be mindful about what you do because one false step or error can set you back for years. Yes, absolutely. So I always tried to tell them like, y'all want to be grown and y'all want to step into that grown phase. This is that part of your life where if you fuck up, I can't come help you. I can't save the day no more. I can save you from certain shit, but if you fuck up in the real world, daddy can't come to the rescue like he could when you would mess up in school and I could come talk to a teacher and everything will be okay. So I always tried to like give him the difference. Right. And I tell my son that same, I gave him that same speech. But for them, I gave them like 2 years. I let them kind of just do what they did for 2 years. They went through some low points, and it was good that they did it because I was able to get them to understand my message. Okay. And then I was able to bring them back and get them back to a high point. So now that they're at a high point now, because they like think between from 18 to 19 they went through some shit. They 20 was kind of like let's reset and let's get you ready because in a year you're gonna be 21. Right. So that's what we had to do, and over that year I really tapped into that with them, and that's what grew our relationship. Okay. And that's what made our relationship stronger than what it was. Because now it's like that. I understood what you was trying to tell me. I had one daughter, she would never apologize to me. No matter how much I would yell at her, and how much she would be disrespectful, she never apologized to me. And last year, I got my first apology from her. Okay. And that was because of an incident that happened. And she finally apologized for it, and I forgave her. And I was like, man, that's all I wanted from you is an apology. I said, no matter how many wrongs you do, I'm always gonna be there. Right. Because it's a way that we could work through everything. It's a solution. I'm all about solutions. Of course. So because I function in logic. So if it don't make sense, I'm not fucking with it. Right. Even in the relationship, if it don't make sense, I'm not fucking with it. Right. So going into the relationship though, the separation of the relationship dynamic, I'm speaking of moving into the F them kids era, meaning that, like I said, they're grown now, so it's about that just like came about when they hit 21. Right. Like, okay. So 21. Got it. So, I done showed y'all enough, so it's on y'all now. Okay. So that's what I mean. So now we are able to separate the dynamic, right? Yeah. Okay. No, I feel that because again, my daughter's 21, and yeah, not to say that I wasn't dating. I mean, me dating my daughter, I didn't date a lot. Well, here's the thing. I'm not gonna say I didn't date a lot. I am a dater for the long. What do I used to? I'm a longevity. Like I will date for like years. You know what I mean? Like one person for years, and it will be dating, and I will be fine with that because it's like I'm okay with knowing when to take the next step. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody's timetable. I'm definitely not pressed of time. I'm not having no more kids. Right. So it's not so. Man. I'm okay with dating I will date somebody for 2 years. Yes, I will date somebody for 3, and if it don't work out, it don't work out. And it's funny you say that, right? Because I feel like everybody is punching a clock. Like, right. Like we on the way out of here. Like I gotta get married. I gotta do this. We on our way out of here. Like I feel as young as I felt when I was 20. Like I don't feel like I aged at all, right? Exactly. Like, but it's like, damn, why are we punching the tickets on our time clock on our time card so fast? Like I tell my kids all the time, like, man, I'm trying to be here till I'm like 90, 95, 99, something. Listen, my granny, shout out to my granny, Lord Jesus. She been ready to go for 15 years. And she is still here. And there's nothing wrong with her, though. She will, my granny, I mean, besides getting older, and I think she just upset she can't move how she wanted to move because granny was sassy, y'all. But
she hates when I tell her. I'm like, girl, you gonna be here for another. She be like, bye, Kenya, and hang up. She gets so mad at me when I tell her, but her mom lived until I believe my great grandmother, because we were 5 generations at one point. She was here until I think she was about 93. My granny only 70 something. Oh man. She said, but I, even when I mentor the youth and I say my age, they be like, Miss Kenya, girl, I didn't know you was 41. Like, I know. Yeah. Or if I tell them I have a 21-year-old and she'll be with me, they be like, I thought that was your sister or your assistant. She is my birth assistant. Yeah, I got that a lot too. Yes. But it is crazy because you think about it now. So that would put us at, well, I had my daughter when I was 19. I was 19. Yep, I turned 20 a month later. How old was your first? 20. Okay, so and then you think about it. Then your daughter just turned 21. Well, yeah. Well, she'll be 22 December. Oh yeah, so your daughter older than mine by maybe 6 months. Okay. They turned 22 in June. Yes. Yes. So then you'll be like, oh my God, we had them so young. Oh my God, like we thought we were. And now I was just like, ooh. Yeah, I probably did panic. Ooh. I panicked a little bit. But then I just was like, hey, I had them at the right age because I was still able to go run around with them, play with them, put together their doll houses. Yes. Like, you had twins. Yeah, I did it all, man. I did it all, and I used to spoil the shit out of them too. And I think that's where we hit the hard patch. Right? Yes. When they got it. Yes. In high school, and I stopped doing as much as I was doing because I didn't feel like they appreciated what I was doing. Oh no. So they went through like a year in high school where they was like, you know what, looking like the flyers, but they still had shit. Yes. Right? And they didn't like that. No. We went through a hard patch during that time, and I had to tell them, like, man, like, I said, look, it's 2 of y'all. Yeah. I said, imagine me buying 8 pair of shoes. For you, for you and your sister, that's 4 pair of shoes. I get y'all every school year because they was wearing uniforms. On top of y'all having so many uniforms to where I didn't have to keep buying uniforms. I mean, I had to buy them when they would grow. And they was expensive. But I'm like, man, I said I get y'all good shoes. Y'all get your hair done every 2 weeks. It was 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? And then I gotta still buy y'all son shoes. I mean y'all brother's shoes and clothes, uniforms, and everything. And how long did the son come after? Man, 3 years. They 3 years apart. Ooh. Yeah, when he turned 19, they turned 22. Yeah. My daughter was the opposite spoiled though. Like she was spoiled and appreciated it, which made her even more spoiled. And then and she was spoiled from everybody because she was the only. Yeah. So I'm a daddy's girl, which made her a granddaddy's girl. Yeah. And then I had my brother. He didn't have no kids. And then she was the only one on her dad's side as well. Then her godfather didn't have no kids, so she was just, and she got everything. It was a running joke. Before she was 21, she was on her 4th car, not because she got into accidents or nothing like that. It was getting her whip. Yeah. She just, it was outdated. It was another one, or it broke down or something like that in the 4th car. She got that. She appreciated it. She did it. And it's just like you're saying, it's that relationship building. It's weird because everybody asks me and my daughter, like, how are you guys so close? We like, why is that not normal? Like, what do you mean? I don't even have an answer for that. And my daughter don't. Just like you said, you build that relationship. You try to know those personality clashes. I mean, in your case, you had 3. I only had 1 personality. And I mean, she was perfect, which is why I always say I didn't want a second one because I was like, "Ooh, that second one, this one is great." Well, I think for me, like each one of my kids, they have a part of me, and it's a certain thing that I can identify in each one. I have a daughter that she like her alone time. Okay. And she'll shut down. Like when she upset, she'll shut down and she not fucking with you, right? And then my son, he like his alone time, but he's stubborn. And I'm stubborn I can be. If I choose to be, I can be stubborn. And then I got my other daughter to where she like
she got my competitive side. She like to joke like I like to joke. And then she very outspoken. So she could walk into a space and kind of just fall in like she know everybody in there. And right. So I can identify parts of me in each one of my kids. So that's what makes our relationships unique. And it's easy to kind of deal with them a little bit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So now, though, going back to you dating and the children are older, does your wife list change?
Yeah, the only thing that's not on the list no more is me looking for a mother figure for them.
Okay.
Now I do let a woman know, like, if you do get the opportunity to be around my kids, like, you know, and if you do develop a relationship with them, just be guidance, like guide them. Like if they come to you for something, be able to give them the right kind of information.
That's good. I love that stuff just to be coming up while I'm talking.
Like, because I don't need you to be trying to be their mama, but just if they come to you and talk to you, just give them some little pointers or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my question though, because this was an Instagram post a long time ago, and I forgot what it was. I reposted it. Everybody went in on it. Oh, I think we talked about it on one of my shows before, and it was about his delivery. I know I'm a butcher this Instagram post, but it was something to where the guy he was talking to a girl, and he was like, What can your kids add to me?" Right? I don't know if you remember that. I don't know. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Shit.
But here's my thing. Here's my question for you though. And everybody got in on him because it was how he said it. Because she went off like, first of all, you could never ask me no question like that. And I'm gonna pull it up. I should have had it queued up, but it just came up to me. My question though is, do you have any of those wants or needs from your children when it comes to dating?
For them?
For them on how to deal with her, whoever her or she may be.
Nah, man, I just kind of like let the relationships form. I don't even get involved in that, you know, because I feel like if I step in and I try to navigate how my daughters get to know her and how she get to know them, it's gonna kind of be the way I want it, and I rather it develop naturally. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like when you start to tap into stuff like that, then now the kids will start feeling like, well, because you talk to my dad, I gotta fuck with you.
No, I mean in the sense like, all right, you know how we're like, if we're dating and we're like, okay, we're telling a woman, I need this from you, or not, or I don't need this from you, or like you said, when the woman come like, oh, tell them, if they come talk to you, just give them some guidance or anything like that. Is there ever a discussion with the kids to where it's like, look, this new girl, I don't know, I'm gonna make all this up. I don't think guys talk like this. You know what I'm saying? Like to the kids, like, okay, this is gonna sound real. This is gonna sound real, and we're not real childish. But I'm like, is it like be nice to her? Be respectful for her. Like, do parents have those discussions?
The only thing I tell them, I said, look, man, they get, they're adults, so give her the same respect that you'll give me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if she may say something to you that you don't like, don't go talking crazy to her and shit. Just let me know, let me handle it.
Okay.
Like, and then I'll step in like, hey, like, don't talk to the kids, my daughters like that. If you got an issue and you need to discuss it, we can all sit down and talk. That way I can sit in and listen, and that way if the conversation gets to go left, I can intervene and get it back on track. But if y'all do have a conversation, I just tell my kids, like, don't be disrespectful.
Okay.
Because I said I wouldn't I wouldn't want to be, you dating and I'm sitting down with your boyfriend and he's saying some crazy shit to you. Because I said you're not gonna have to worry about me saying something because I'm gonna step in. So I said just always be mindful of how you talk to somebody.
That's good. But oh my goodness, I want to go back to the mama in the first heartbreak. See, we got all off track and things like that. We got all off track because the mama is what we got in this album. We sure do. Okay, listen. Back to the mama in the heartbreak though, because I really want to tap into that because majority, I'm not gonna say most of all, majority men I'm not gonna say they allow their mothers because I don't believe it's conscious, right?
Well,
it's not consciously, but you guys will let your mamas go
no,
ahead.
I didn't. So for that situation,
Yes.
I did let my mom know she was wrong.
Okay.
I told her, I said, "Mom, you was wrong." I said because I said this girl ain't done shit to you. I said she not like your granddaughter's mother or your grandson's mother. I said, quite frankly, I said, like, you didn't even really give her a chance. Like, I said, I understand that she come around, and if we doing Thanksgiving and she come and she sitting there with me, said that he's like she still like this was like her first Thanksgiving, and she was kind of like still trying to get a feel for everybody. So it's like I understood it, and I was like, y'all kind of just made her feel like she had to be in there with y'all, and and I told her, I said, I think that might have been too much for her at that time. You know what I'm saying? It might have been too much for her at that time. I mean, because at that, like, she was still getting to know me. And then now I'm just like, well, come have Thanksgiving with me. Boom, I throw you in the kitchen and shit. Like, that might have been too much pressure for her. And I told my mom that. And then as me and her progressed, I started telling my mom, like, man, I really love this girl. You know what I'm saying? And I was still staying at home with moms, and I was still helping her out and doing shit like that. And I was like, I think I might be considering moving out. And I think at that time, because, my mom was like the mother figure to my daughters. That's when they were smaller. Okay. So she was like in hands and everything, right? So I think my mom was more feeling like, damn, man, like I'm not gonna be able to see my grandbabies every day. My baby boy leaving, and this like he helped me out so much, and I think there's a whole lot set in prior to them having that conversation. And I just think shit, it all kind of just didn't mesh well. And then they talked. It didn't go good, but I did let my girl know, like, look, man, this is how moms is. Yeah, I said if you think I'm blunt, and I said mom's probably like me times four. Okay. Right? And she was like, it ain't gonna be that bad. I was like, look, man, I'm just telling you, like, if you have a conversation with her, I said, take what she say as face value. Don't try to read between the lines. Don't try to twist her words up and make it seem like it's something that is not. Because I said, if you do, then you're going to miss what she's saying. Okay. And I think she did that anyway. She missed what your mom was saying. Yeah, because when me and her talked about it, she was just like, well, man, I felt like your mom attacked me. And your mom said this, your mom said that. She brought up the way I dress and shit like that. And I tried to explain to her. I said, my mom from the South, right? Okay. I said, she don't get up every Sunday putting on makeup, getting fully dressed, sitting in the house. Like, mom be walking around in a fucking nightgown chilling. Like, on Sundays. And I said, son, I said, you do come over here every Sunday, like, suited and booted, like we going to the club. And I said, I be chilling in some regular shit. But then I understood, like, after being around her mother, and seeing how her mother was on Sunday, I understood why she was like that on Sunday, because her mom got up, got dressed, put her earrings on, be fully dressed, even if she just sitting in the house. So I understood it. And I tried to tell her, like, man, don't worry about that shit. Like, if that's what she was tripping off of, like, don't worry about that shit. Like, that's some small shit. But for her, it was something big. So it was like I had to hear everything that was said from her in the conversation, and then I talked to my mom. My mom told me what she said, and then I told my mom, well, like, this is what I heard. So then my mom was like, well, that's not what was said. Okay. And I said, and I was like, I kind of figured, but it was some stuff that my mom did say that I know my mom, and I was like, you said that shit. Yeah. Right? So I was like, and I told her, like, yeah, you was wrong, man. I said, you was wrong, because I said, even though y'all sat down and y'all had the one-on-one, it was some shit that you brought up that you should not have, because it was irrelevant to everything. This is not even why y'all had to sit down. Y'all had to sit down to figure out how she can become closer to you, and what is it about her that made you distance yourself from her. That's what the sit down was for. And they ended up talking about a whole lot of other shit. And that's where I understood for her where it felt like an attack. And I understood from my mom's side where it was misunderstood. Okay. You know, so it was like I had to talk to both of them. And I had to let my mom know, like, this where you was wrong. And I said, I even told her, like, you was wrong too. Because I said, you asked my mom told me about some shit you asked me. And I said, you know, you asked her about some shit that had to do with me when you could have just asked me. So that also made my mom feel a certain kind of way. And she kind of told my mom, like, we had got into it, me and her had an incident where she thought I cheated on her. And we talked about it, but she felt like my mom knew.
So she was bait.
Yeah, she felt like my mom knew, and that's why my mom wasn't really fucking with her, because she felt like I had another girl around. And that wasn't the case. So that's where my mom was like, who is she to ask me, like, where the fuck you was? Like, where you was? Like, I was like, whoa, I didn't even know she did that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had a friend. She moved to Vegas. I've been knowing her since like forever. So she asked, like, I need help driving my stuff up to Vegas. Can you go? I was like, I ain't doing shit this weekend. Yeah, I'll ride with you. Rode up with her, came back down with her. And then that weekend, you know, I was talking to my shorty while I was out there, and she was like, well, you didn't even tell me you was going to Vegas. I know. I said it was last minute. Somebody asked me to help them do something, so I helped them. I wasn't doing shit. You wasn't in town. Like, you was gone. But, yeah, that led to that, and that's why she felt like I was cheating on her.
And then she baited moms.
Yeah, and moms wasn't having that shit. That set moms off. And when my mom told me that, I immediately understood where everything else came from.
Yeah. Okay, so before we wrap this up, because we in, y'all know we, and look, y'all stay tuned for part 2 so we can get back to how to speak to the man, because we gonna segue into that. But to wrap this one up is, so the question, what was the ultimate reason for the breakup?
Well,
Cause see, I'm blaming moms, all right? Because you know, as y'all see, I'm blaming moms right here.
You can't. So, like, moms played like a 10% in that whole breakup.
Okay.
She honestly would take our late night intimate conversations, and she would go over that shit with her mother. So then when we would go have Sunday dinner with her family, I would be the topic of conversation about shit that me and her might have talked about the night before Sunday. So it was like, damn, like, and it was crazy because during that time, my son mother went through a phase where she tried to take herself out, right? So I had to get up in the middle of the night, boom, shoot down to LA, see to that situation. She had that whole conversation with her mom. And this was the day before
Sunday dinner.
Right. And I'm like, damn, how the fuck? Because they brought it up to me, like, you know, it's your son, mom. I'm like, how the fuck y'all leave? This was at 3, 4 in the morning. I'm like, how y'all know about this shit already? Right? So that was the first time. And then the second time, we was just talking, like, you know, we had a good night. We was getting it in, right? And we was just laying there talking and shit. And I'm telling her about...
That's what they call pillow talk.
Yeah.
I hate that one too, but pillow talk.
We get up, and then, boom, here we go again, going to Sunday dinner. Some more shit come up from that conversation. So I was like, fuck, bro. I'm like, I can't tell you shit. And that night, it really hit me because we was driving back. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, I said, I can't fucking trust you. And I just told her, I can't trust you with shit. I said, every time I tell you something, and then we go have dinner with your folks, this shit come up. I said, I understand if your mom, your person to go talk to, but I said, go talk to your mom about your shit. Stop bringing me up because it's making me uncomfortable And it's making me not want to go to your people house because they keep bringing up my shit. Right. And that shit was pissing me off. And then she got mad, tried to go off on the car. She was trying to go off on me while we was in the car. And I was like, look, that's fine and dandy, whatever the fuck you talking about. But I said, I'm not your dad. I said, if you want to talk like that, go talk to your dad like that. Mm-hmm. Don't talk to me that way. I said, because I don't talk to you that way. We back to tone, y'all. I said, I don't talk to you that way. And I said, I don't see you talking to your dad like that. Mm-hmm. So don't fucking talk to me like that, right? I had to get disrespectful with her a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like, don't fucking talk to me like that. And she said, she was like, well, my dad said this. I said, man, I don't give a fuck what your dad said. At this point, I was done. Like, I don't give a fuck what your dad said. I said, if you so worried about what your dad says and you listen to everything that your dad say, I said, then go fuck your daddy. Oh, so on that note. Yeah, I got disrespectful. I said, go fuck your daddy. We gonna get into the part 2 of this episode because, again, I came up with a whole other topic. So hold on, because part 2 is going to be about. So let me retract that, y'all. It wasn't the mama's fault. That's a whole nother situation. That's a whole nother thing. Maybe the mama was the revelation. Man, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that final discussion brought some shit up, right? That I didn't see. Look, maybe that's what that was. But we are going to get into part 2. But before we go, y'all know I like to end my segment with my guests with a keepsake quickfire. So these are just random questions that I scroll and I ask, and I want to just answer them as they come. Hold on, let me see. Oh, this one just came. If you could change one way society views men, what would it be? That providing shit. Come on, y'all. I would change that. If I could change something, it would be that providing shit. And I'm not saying I would change it to where we don't provide, but it's what we're providing to society, to women, to our kids, right? I would change that. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that might be a whole nother episode in itself, y'all. All right, let me see. Scrolling. What else? Oh, tell us about a time you were afraid to open up, but did it anyway. In that relationship. Okay. Yeah. I was afraid. Mm-hmm. And I overcame it early. Mm-hmm. And that's when I was able to identify that I loved it. Yeah. Cause I was kind of hurt, man. I still was dealing with my daughter's mom and all that shit, though. So I was still kind of dealing with that when I started talking to her. So I was hurt. And then I was trying to overcome that hurt so I could be the best version of me for her. Yeah. That's good. And let me see. Last one. Oh, this is a good one. I think being direct with feelings or letting them unfold gradually. Nah, I think it's better to be direct. Yeah, let somebody know, like, damn, this is how I feel, and this is how you making me feel. And let's address it. Let's talk about that. Good. Oh my goodness. This was great. Y'all. We was on topic, then off topic. And I know we still got some stuff to say, but we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to sit up there and say thank you to my guests. Hold on. Are you still? Oh, yeah, we still sipping? Hold up. Yeah. Thank you. Do our last toast here. And y'all know the only reason why we still sipping is because we gonna get into a part 2. Cause y'all know I wouldn't let y'all leave here still sipping and tipsy with your girl. But let me see here, y'all. I gotta close it out, and let me see what I'm gonna go ahead and close it out with, because we did not yet talk about the man within, speaking to him, but we will, y'all. But I think that my takeaways from today was just, oh my God, what was the takeaway? Real quick, because there was so many, like I said, on topic, off topic. I don't know, y'all. And because of that, I'm going to just sign out because we're going to get ready for part 2. Yeah.